Have you ever heard of a digital nomad? Well, our guest today is a digital nomad, and we are curious to know what's it's all about. Now, this is the Now Tell Us show, and I'm your host, Anthony Moirore. At Now Tell Us, we get to have guests come and share with us stories. They come and inspire us. They come and we have a discussion, a conversation that is interesting. It's always been good. And thanks to you, our audience, we are climbing up on Podmatch. We are at number 2 today. Wow, that's interesting. And please remember to share this video with your friends, or the audio, even after we are through with this recording. Share it with your friends. Comment, ask questions as we are moving on. We'll be very glad. We thank you for being with us all through, and we keep being with you. And now, without taking one more minute, I'm going to meet my guest today, and you're going with me. He's going to tell us about Google being the new business card. His name is Barnard. And so, let's go and meet him. Here we go. Hello, Jason.
Hi, Anthony. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How about you?
Oh, I'm absolutely great. I'm waiting for Now Tell Us. I want to know what I'm going to tell us.
We are waiting to hear what you're going to tell us. And I asked you where you are, but I see that you're not very comfortable answering that question because many times you're everywhere. So where are you right now?
Oh, right, yeah. Right now I'm in the south of France, in a town called Sommières, which is near Montpellier.
Okay.
I've been traveling around the world for a few years, and I've been right around the world twice in the last 4 years, with a long period during COVID in Paris.
Wow, that's beautiful. So in a short word, or in a brief, what is a digital nomad for someone who may not have an idea?
Right. Well, the idea of being a digital nomad is working online. Obviously, we're now, after COVID, a lot of people working online. I've been working online since 1998. And since 1998, I've just been traveling around the world. I've had homes, I've rented houses, but I don't own a house. I was in Mauritius for a long time, which is in the Indian Ocean, just off Madagascar. As I said, I went around the world. I went to Australia. I went right around the world, apparently the wrong way, from France to Australia to America and then back to France. Incredibly tiring. If you ever go around the world, I have been told you shouldn't go that way because it's really tiring. But you do get the thing that you land in America before you took off in Australia. So you take off in Australia at 10 in the evening, but you land in America 2 hours earlier. And that's brilliant. I've done it once, but I will never do it again because it's really tiring.
And that's interesting because with this digital thing, I am always finding that we are talking with people in two different worlds. I mean, I'm in today and they are in tomorrow.
Yeah, no, wandering around the world working on the internet is delightful. I remember in 2000, the year 2000, I was living in Paris, and people were saying, you can work on the internet. When you work on the internet, you can work anywhere in the world and it doesn't matter. So I spun the globe and I put my finger down, and my finger came down on Mauritius, which is, as I said, on the south of Africa, just off Madagascar. We moved there with my ex-wife and my daughter, and we lived there for 13 years, building an internet site for children from Mauritius, sitting on a tropical island on the beach, running an internet business. It was so delightful.
Wow, what an interesting way to find my next destination. I moved around. I moved around. But that's quite interesting. I may try it sometime.
Yeah, I mean, one nice thing as well is the reason I went around the world in 2019, I started, and I just wanted to travel. And my accountant told me that if I wanted to travel and still work, I needed to have some kind of production from that traveling. So it would either be finding new clients, but then I said, if I produce a podcast, would that count? She said yes. So I just went from country to country, going to different conferences, interviewing people about digital marketing. And that was my excuse for traveling the world, was doing this roving podcast from conference to conference, from country to country. And it was really, really lovely.
I would love to do that. It sounds quite interesting. Now, looking behind you, I see a guitar.
Yeah, well, it's a small bass. It's a lovely acoustic bass. I'm actually, by career, my initial career was a folk punk double bass player. So a double bass, which is the big contrabass, as we say in many languages, for what, 10 years? Playing double bass. So I'm a bassist, I'm a musician.
So, and you also sing?
Yeah, I sing a quick hello and we're good to go. Welcome to your own show, Anthony Muiri. I massacred your second name. I do apologize.
That's good. You did the best. And now, how many other instruments can you play, just for curiosity's sake?
Oh, right. Well, right here I've got a guitar, and right over there I've got a ukulele, but I'm really bad at it. It's one of those things in life where you play one instrument and you're good at it, and somebody gives you another instrument and you think, well, I'm a musician, I can probably play reasonably well. I can play a little tune on the guitar, but it sounds very second rate. So I would say I'm truly a bass player and definitely not a guitarist or a ukulele player.
That's cool. Now, you did cartoons when I was. You mentioned doing a cartoon, and especially when you're in Mauritius.
Yeah.
How did that come to be?
Oh, right. Well, after the folk punk episode, when I was playing in folk punk festivals, we played with the Pogues, we played with Bob Dylan even, and we played in a tiny pub next to the stadium, the football stadium in Milan, when U2 were playing in the stadium. And the stadium was full. It was 70 or 80,000 people in the stadium. And we played in this tiny little bar right next door, and there were 3 people. So we played next to U2 and we didn't get any audience. And then after that, I decided that I would write and perform songs for children. So I wrote a music album for children, played the musical instruments on it, sang the songs, and then built a website and made a TV series with my ex-wife about Boo-Wah the blue dog and Koala the yellow koala. And that was hugely delightful.
And what does the blue dog and the yellow koala got to do with what you're doing today? Because I understand they have a link.
Oh, right. Oh, you've been researching me. How very strange. Exactly. I stopped being the blue dog in the cartoon and tried to build a career as a digital marketer. And I was trying to get work as a digital marketing consultant. And sometimes clients would talk to me in a meeting and it would seem very positive. And then when I left the meeting, I thought, that's a sale. They're going to work with me. That's perfect. And a lot of them didn't. And then one of my clients said to me, well, you know what we did? As soon as you walked out the door, we Googled your name. And when we Googled the name Jason Barnard, Jasonbarnard, it said right at the top, Jason Barnard is a cartoon blue dog. And they thought it was funny, but the other clients obviously thought, well, I don't think this guy is serious. He's a cartoon blue dog. Why would I give my digital marketing strategy to this person? So what I then did is thought, well, if I want to convert more people who are potential clients to become my actual clients, I need to present myself as a serious digital marketer. so that when they search my name, it says Jason Barnard is a digital marketer, and then it's got videos, and it's got my articles on Search Engine Journal, and it's got this incredibly convincing professional aspect that it didn't have when it said Jason Barnard is a cartoon blue dog. So that taught me that I can control what Google shows about me when you Google my name, my company name, but then I can also do it for you or another company or another person. And that idea that Google is your business card is phenomenally powerful.
That's beautiful. And we're glad to get a few tips here and there as we are moving on in this episode. Now, I actually Googled your name on before we came on.
Right.
And guess what? I put
I don't
Jason Barnard, and the whole page went red.
Yeah.
so I was not surprised to see you come on the show red. So
right, 100%, and that's a really interesting point. Is that when you communicate consistently, Google understands what it is that represents you and what your audience expects to see. So most people see me in this red shirt and then Google my name and say, okay, right, it's red, that's fine. Whereas you've Googled me, seen the red, and then said, oh, right, he's got the red shirt, that's fine. If I'm not consistent and I don't communicate with Google, Google could have been showing blue or purple or green. And what it shows is the red color that I use in my marketing, my branding. So it's showing not only my message in terms of words, but also my message in terms of the visual identity and even the color palette.
That's interesting. That's what we should think about. Because I want to do an experiment. Maybe Jason can Google my name from that side and tell us what you come up with.
Right. Okay. This is in real time.
Real time.
Oh, how delightful! You've got your own website.
Yeah.
Anthony Muiri. How do you say your second name?
You're doing quite okay, but it's Moirore, and I don't want you to practice.
Moyuri. It's got more syllables than it looks like. Well, I do apologize for
it. And I think I should expect that from a musician. You just got it right the first try. Moirore.
When you're singing it, it's much easier. But what you have is, I think, is your name relatively unique? There aren't many people with that same name?
We have quite a few. We do.
All right. Okay, well, in that case, what you've done is a very good job. What you have, I mean, I'm looking at my screen now, is your own website right at the top. And this is searching in America, because I use a plugin for my Chrome browser to pretend that I'm in America. So in America, you're right at the top. We've got your photo next to your result of your own website, then your Instagram, then your Facebook. They all appear to be you. You're an author, so you've got your Amazon.com page. Is that correct? And what I would compliment you on greatly is the clarity of your website.
Okay.
Is that you've got a very clear website with clear navigation of the home, with the about page, which a lot of people don't do, where if I'm interested, obviously when I come to the home page, I want to know something about you. I want to investigate what you're all about. Then I can go to the about page to find out more about you, see why you are such a credible podcast host. You've got the blog, you've got art, you've got subscribe, you've got your book. And Google, because your website is so clear, Google is able to understand that website and provide me not only with your homepage, but multiple links, including about the blog, art, and subscribe right there on the search engine results page. Beautiful job. Brilliant, Anthony. Huge congratulations.
Thank you very much. I've been trying my level best. And since I know we can always improve, and starting here, because when you Google, you didn't come up with the shirt that I'm wearing now. It didn't have a unique color palette like the one that you got. I know there are many other areas I could improve on, and that's why we have you here to give us a little bit more insight into using Google as our new business card and exploiting it, going to our most
Right.
potential, achieving the most that we can from it. Now, go ahead, take your time here and tell us everything you want to tell us.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you make a very good point about your shirt and my shirt. And what I've been very careful about is using the same shirt in the photos that I post on all of my social profiles, in my baseline as an author, on my own website. It's always with this red shirt. And not only do I do that, but every time I appear on a podcast or on at a conference, if somebody else takes a picture of me, it will have the red shirt in the professional environment. So what Google now sees is the red shirt dominates everything about me online in my professional role.
Okay.
And that's consistency. I was just talking to somebody on my own podcast about consistency and how incredibly important it is. It's branding. And in my case, it's personal branding. And it takes a lot of effort. You really have to apply yourself. I have to, for example, 5 minutes before this show, I went over there, picked up a red shirt, put the red shirt on because I've been wearing a blue t-shirt all day. So I actually changed my shirt 5 minutes before I come on screen. The other interesting point is if you want Google to understand who you are, what you do, and which audience you serve, which is the fundamental understanding it needs of you in order to be able to represent you correctly to your audience when they Google your name, you need to be incredibly consistent in how you express who you are, what you do, and which audience you serve. So if I have a description that says Jason Barnard is the CEO and founder of Cube and an author and a digital marketer and a musician, if I'm consistent across the web with that specific sentence, Google will understand that those are the things that I do. And whichever one I put first is the one it thinks is most important. So if I put Jason Barnard is an author and the CEO of Cube, it would think author is more important than CEO of Cube. If I write Jason Barnard is the CEO of Cube and an author, it would think that my role as a CEO of my company, Cube, is more important than the author. So, and as human beings, that's how we understand it as well. What comes first is most important. And one thing that people do with their about page, for example, is they say, I was born in 1966, grew up in Yorkshire, went to Liverpool, played in a band, did a Blue Dog cartoon, and now I'm a digital marketer. That, for me as a person, makes sense. But for my audience, it doesn't make sense. If my audience are searching for me today or interested in me today, they want to know, I'm a digital marketer now. Before that, I was a Blue Dog. Before that, I was in a band. And before that, I was living in Yorkshire. And I was born in 1966. So when you're presenting yourself to both your audience, current audience, and to Google, you need to do that CV in reverse order. And most people get it wrong and start with when they were born. But if you're really interested in when I was born, you'll read to the bottom. But most people are probably not interested in when I was born. They're more interested in Jason Barnard is the CEO of Cube and specializes in brand SERPs and knowledge panels, because the majority of people looking for me or researching me are interested in my role today, because that's what I'm communicating most.
Wow, that's good. Now I kind of understand that, because and I have an experience in that in a different area, and I think they go hand in hand. Is when I started my first book, I wrote to someone who's more experienced after I've done my manuscript for the person to see it, and he looked at it. And at this point, I ask any person who's listening or watch us, if you'd like to be successful, if you want to make Google your business card, reach out to Jason, because you go for someone who's successful in an area to guide you. So this is what happened. My manuscript started on the place that I was born, in the village somewhere in Kenya, and then it went on to give the story. And this experienced author looked at it and told me, no, Anthony, you don't start there. You start by letting the people know who you are, your authority. Why should they be listening to you in this book that you're writing? Because this is what, why should they read whatever it is that you've written? Do you have an authority in whatever you're saying? So I had to change it all over and start with the book with how I am a motivational speaker. And I had an experience somewhere. I was invited for a book launch, and it was an interesting. And now people look at it and, oh, I want to know more. Now, after that first chapter, I go now back to the beginning. This is where it began. In a small village.
And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I'm only interested that you were born in a small village if I'm already interested in you as a person. And that first chapter gets me interested in you as a person. And then I'm saying, well, right, now tell me where you were born. I'm interested. So the person who gave you advice is right. And I wouldn't necessarily have thought of that. But certainly for today, if you look at my people searching for you, they'll be looking for you as a motivational speaker. For people looking for me, they're looking for me as a Brand SERP knowledge panel Google expert. So I don't want to put the blue dog first. I don't want to put the punk folk musician first. I want to lead with why people are searching. And as you say, why am I an authority and why would you listen to me?
Yeah, I see that you talk about, and maybe this is all that we've been talking about, but you've got to let us understand Brand SERP, or rather Brand SERP. What is that?
Yeah, I keep saying Brand SERP and think that everybody knows what it means, and they don't. And I apologize to everybody listening. A Brand SERP is a brand search engine results page. So SERP is search engine results page. And a search engine results page is obviously when you search on Google, it's what Google shows you, those blue links with the photos, the videos. And the Brand SERP is the result for somebody's name, your name, my name, or a company name. So what I think people are missing in terms of Google is they think, well, I need to get to the top for the keywords, the search terms, such as buy a computer, because I want to sell computers. But in fact, the people you're most likely to sell to are people who already know who you are. So if you're a computer sales company called Gray's Computer Company, I would expect to communicate with my audience on social media, in the street, on all the different platforms, and then they would search my name, Gray's Computer, I can't remember what I said, Gray's Computer Servicing Company. And at that point, I need my client, my potential client, to see a great result that reflects well on me and demonstrates me to be the authority and to be credible to sell them the computer I'm trying to sell them. Whereas if I get to the top of Google for buy a computer, the person who comes to me through Google doesn't know who I am. What's the probability that you would buy a computer from a company you've never heard of? I think from a marketing perspective, from a long-term business perspective, getting to the top of Google for those short-head, the really commercial keywords like buy a computer is hugely important. It's great. But you should really be focusing on making sure that the people who are already interested in you as a company are convinced. And what I love about the idea of Google Business Card, which is the search engine results page for your brand name, is that when Google presents your brand as a credible, authoritative brand, and that Google Business Card looks great, you're getting Google's stamp of approval. And we use Google because we trust Google. And if Google is presenting you in a great light to your audience, Google is giving you its stamp of approval, and the likelihood that you will be able to sell to that audience is much higher.
Beautiful, beautiful. And then you use the word educate, something maybe you told. Why you call it a Google HR or something like that?
Yeah, well, I think if you look at Google from the perspective of Google wants to understand the world.
Okay.
Like a child wants to understand the world. And the reason it wants to understand the world is because it's trying to match its users' needs when they search, for example, buy a computer, they want to buy a computer. When they search Jason Barnard, they want to find out more about Jason Barnard. It wants to match that need to the solutions that we're offering. So if it can understand our solutions, it can actually match them to the needs of its users when they're searching on Google. So that understanding becomes fundamental. So from that perspective, Google's understanding is the foundation of its entire business. So if we can educate so that it understands, we're in a much better position. If Google understands me and the solution I'm offering, but it doesn't understand you and the solution you're offering, it cannot offer your solution to its users. It can only offer mine. If it understands my solution and me better than it understands your solution and you, it will prioritize my solution over your solution. So understanding in Google's mind is the fundamentally most important thing we all should be focusing on in terms of search engine marketing today. And at Kalicube, we have the recipe for that. We know how to educate Google. We know how to get it to show my Google search engine results page for my name red with lots of positive information that make me look very professional. That's our business. That's our speciality, and we know how to do it. Educating Google is key to the future of search engine marketing.
Wow, thank you very much for all that you shared. Now, you educate Google, and you work with individuals and companies, I guess. So tell us, tell us even how they can reach you in order that they can learn how to educate, or you do it for them.
Well, one thing is as you mentioned, most people don't talk about Google this way. Most people talk about Google and say we need to adapt to its algorithms, we need to put more words in the page, put more resources into making the web pages faster, whatever it might be in terms of optimizing your content for Google. And I'm saying we need to educate Google, because if it understands, it will deliver our solutions to its users when they need it. So from that perspective, we have a lot to share, and we share most of it for free. So if you come to kalicube.com, you will find masses of articles, FAQs, and information that will help you to understand how you can educate Google so that it understands what you offer to your audience. Then we also offer consulting for people who need some extra help, which I can give. We offer courses, online courses. You can learn all about it. We've got 12 hours of courses online. We also have the Done For You service, whereby if you say to me, I want to have that checkered shirt all over my brand SERP, so that when people search for me on Google, they see the checkered shirt and they understand that they're looking at Anthony. We can make that happen. So you pay us a fee and we will make that happen. We work on it for about a year, and it takes quite a lot of time, because educating a child takes time, it takes patience, and it takes consistency. So give us a year and we can get that checkered shirt all over that result for you. And we could probably even get you the knowledge panel cards and a great presentation, which is basically Google showing the facts about you to your audience when they search your name in the way that you want them to see it. So you control your brand narrative on Google. That is the key to what we do at Kalicube.
Wow, that's great. That's wonderful. Now, to the person who's listening out there, go and connect with Jason Barnard at www.kalicube.com. Yes, and he did mention that most of it is free. So what are you waiting for?
Yeah, we're really trying to share it, because what strikes me is we're the only company in the world who specializes in this. We do it for companies and we do it for people. As far as I know, nobody else specializes in brand SERP, search engine results pages for your name or your company name, and knowledge panels, which is Google's understanding of who you are, what you do, and which audience you serve, represented on that search engine results page. And so we realize that there are billions, literally billions of potential clients for us. We can't serve everybody, so we give the information away for free. We teach you to teach Google. And if we can do that and make the world a slightly better place because Google understands better and you're being represented by Google in a better manner, in a manner that you want it to, I'm a happy person. And along the way, we're always going to find people who need help, who can't do it themselves, who don't have the time to do it themselves, or they've got a specific problem that's too difficult to solve from the free resources we've got, where my experience comes in and my team from Kalicube can make that happen for you.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for that. Now, we have had a great time together with you here.
Yeah.
And yes, and together with our audience, we thank you, Jason, for your time.
Well, I thank you, Anthony, because that was a really delightful conversation, wonderfully balanced between fun personal stories, your story, and what we do at CaliCube, and why Google is a child that we need to educate. I found that to be a perfectly balanced conversation. You did a great job with exactly the right questions to make it wonderful.
Oh, thank you very much even for that feedback. I really appreciate it. So we are now coming to the end of the show. But before we go, we would like you to leave with us a few words that we should always remember. What are they?
Oh, well, I mean, from the philosophical point, I would say keep your spirit, keep your enthusiasm, smile as you are, Anthony. You do a great job of smiling, better than me today. But I get up in the morning and I want to move forwards with what I'm doing. I want to do my job, do it well, enjoy my life with my family, enjoy my life with my friends, and looking at every day and thinking, well, I'm looking forward to this day. Is something, if you can achieve it, obviously it's not easy for everybody because not everybody's in an easy situation. But if you can find yourself a job that you enjoy, you can find people you love to support you and surround you. That for me is, I get up in the morning and think, yeah, it's going to be a good day.
Wow, it's going to be a good day. Yes, find that thing.
That sounded like a song.
This is going to be a good day. Maybe you can sing it. You're a musician. Yeah, sing it for us as we come to the end.
Today is going to be a good day. It's going to be a wonderful day.
Wow.
Oh, I wrote a song, in fact, for children, and I can sing that.
Yeah.
Hooray, another sunny day. Hooray, another day to play. Hooray, another sunny day for you and me and me and you. Hooray. There you go.
Beautiful. Wow, everyone, we've come to the end of today's show, and Jason has told us so much. And now it's your time to go out there and make Google your new business card. If you need some help, reach out to Jason. Just go and follow him. That's about it. It's been wonderful. I've been your host, Anthony Murode. And together with Jason Barnard, we are saying bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.